So, you have driven gasoline-powered vehicles for the majority of your life and are now interested in experiencing the EV way of life. Great! Now it's time to see what EV manufacturer best suits your lifestyle. Some brands are exclusively dedicated to EV production, while others are gradually transitioning over from their internal combustion roots. You are aware of the recent influx of new electric vehicles. However, a premium sedan is on your shopping list. This allows you to narrow your list down to Porsche, Mercedes, Tesla, or Audi, which are all heavily invested in the EV market and offer some great alternatives to their gasoline counterparts. After long and careful consideration though, you come to the conclusion that Tesla is that very manufacturer that suits your lifestyle. Fair enough, they have been around long enough to prove themselves worthy of your hard-earned money, not to mention the endless praise granted to them by various media outlets. But wait, there's a new electric vehicle on the market, a vehicle that actually exists and isn't just someone's pipe dream, one that offers more range than a Tesla for significantly less money. Hard to believe, isn't it? Well, they are known as Lucid Motors and they are currently taking the automotive world by storm. If you follow the automotive world at all and haven't been living under a rock, you have probably heard of Lucid by now, the new electric car manufacturer that's receiving excellent reviews of their new sedan, the Lucid Air, and the fact that their range does in fact exceed that of the Tesla Model S. I wasn't making that up. Additionally, you may have or most definitely have heard headlines about them having the potential to destroy Tesla. Well, unfortunately, it's not that simple, and I'll explain why in this video. So, does Lucid have what it takes to become the new EV leader? Let's find out. What's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the MF Automotive YouTube channel. Ironically enough, the CEO of Lucid, a gentleman by the name of Peter, was actually a former Tesla engineer who set out to build his own EV, and you can bet your best bucks he took some detailed notes during his time there. One of his main objectives was to produce a vehicle that handled like a Lotus, yet had the interior space and ride comfort equivalent of that found on an S-Class. A tall order from a vehicle that weighs 5,200 pounds, a mere 700 pounds heavier than the Model S. Now, for this comparison, I've chosen to put the Tesla Model X against the Lucid Air for two main reasons. One, well, because that's the only vehicle Lucid produces at the moment, and two, because both sedans compete in the same price range. Exterior-wise, the two are quite different. In pictures, the Lucid appears longer than the Tesla, but in reality, it's shorter, measuring in at 195.9 inches, while the Tesla stretches out to 197.7 inches. As they say, pictures can be deceiving. Styling is subjective, so I won't linger on it too much. However, just going off first impressions, the Lucid is definitely different and exudes some futuristic styling, unlike anything I have ever seen before. Although it looks great, I still find certain angles to be somewhat wonky looking, but the front is by far my favorite angle. Then there is the Tesla Model S, which granted has been around since 2012, so we can give Tesla somewhat of a break if it isn't the most revolutionary looking thing out there. But you can agree that it is starting to become a little long in the tooth. Still, it too exudes a premium look, and by no means does it look bad, to me anyway. Looking at the interior of both cars paints a similar picture. While Tesla comprises of two main displays, with simplicity being the main focus, and a steering wheel pulled straight out of Knight Rider Industries Kit 2000, the Lucid on the other hand appears more natural and sophisticated, benefiting from a variety of different materials including Alcantara, leather, wood, and some sort of fabric that's found on the back of the seats and under the dashboard. At least on higher trim levels, that is. In fact, it somewhat reminds me of that vehicle that was kind of a hybrid and electric vehicle. It had like that solar panel on the roof, the Fisker Karma. If you saw the interior of that, people describe the interior using natural materials such as bamboo, wood, etc. However, while it does look simple to use, it doesn't appear to quite tout the Tesla in the intuitiveness department. I am of course talking about the Lucid. But it definitely does come ahead, just going off first impressions design-wise, and the fit and finish definitely looks better too. With that in mind, let's compare some basic specifications, which most EV buyers pose as a priority. How fast does it charge and how far will it go? Well, in the case of the Lucid, 300 miles in just 20 minutes, granted you are using a DC fast charger, and a minimum of 406 miles of range. The Tesla, on the other hand, can charge 200 miles in just 15 minutes, with of course supercharging, and the Tesla offers in its base configuration a maximum range of 405 miles. Trim level wise, the Lucid is available in 4. Well, one is technically a launch edition with a limited production run, so we'll go ahead and exclude that. This brings us to a grand total of 3. The launch edition is known as the Air Dream Edition and can be had in your choice of performance or range specific models, signified by the letters P and R corresponding to either one. 520 miles of EPA tested range, or 1,111 horsepower with a 0 to 60 time of 2.5 seconds is what the Dream Edition will get you. Of course, that depends on whether you go for the performance, which is more obviously performance oriented as the name may suggest, or you can go for the range topping 520 mile is obviously the Air Dream Edition R. However, all of this of course comes at a price, and a steep one at that. The Air Dream Edition will set you back north of $150,000 US. So, on a price basis alone, I think I'll go ahead and disregard them for the sake of this comparison, as the price tag far exceeds even that of the S Plaid. Albeit, they do offer more range, so you are getting some advantages over the Model S. That of course leaves us with the rest of the lineup, which goes along the lines of Air Pure, Air Touring, and Air Grand Touring. Now let's go over to the competitor, the Tesla Model S, which thankfully isn't as complicated as the model lineup. Not to say it's complicated for Lucid, but it's kind of condensed down into just 2 trim levels. You have your pick between the more efficient option or the Plaid, which needs no introduction. So, out of these 2 EVs, which one comes ahead? Well, it depends on what your priorities are. If you cherish the most range for the least amount of money, then the Lucid Air Pure is your go-to EV, as it gives you 406 miles of range for around $80,000 US. The Tesla, in comparison, makes you pay around $15,000 US more for similar specifications. And while this is the base model, it ought to be better than what you would expect from, say, a base model Civic. Moving up the Lucid model hierarchy brings us to the Air Touring, which presents an interesting predicament. It has the same starting price as the regular Model S, however, lacks slightly in the performance department. So this has to be based purely on which vehicle drives and looks better in your opinion. The next model up will be reserved for individuals seeking the most range. The Air GT, or Air Grand Touring, starts at $140,000 US, a whopping $10,000 US more than the Tesla Model S Plaid. However, its range speaks for itself, as the Tesla cannot match its EPA-rated 516 miles of range. And people who would rather have an EV that has the most range and price isn't really a consideration for them, this may be the trim level for them. So, in the end, it ultimately comes down to what you cherish most out of your EV: performance for the least amount of money or the most range, and of course the aforementioned talk about styling, driving dynamics, etc. Another thing I wanted to touch on it is whether or not Lucid can dethrone Tesla and take its spot as the new EV king. And that is an interesting question which I myself am eager to find out. But for the sake of time and boredom, I've sat down and compiled a list of reasons as to why it. See, the analogy I would use in this situation is, say, a manufacturer new vehicle tomorrow aimed at the BMW 7 Series, and for the sake of this example, let's say it drove better, offered more features on the inside, was significantly more premium, and had a lower price point. Would all existing 7 Series owners instantly flock over to said manufacturer? Probably not, right? I mean, a few may be swayed, but ultimately, they would stay put with their BMW. Now, this is in no way intended at Lucid, saying that they're like a cheap manufacturer just coming in and trying to take the throne with better specifications. It's just the way people really think. Brand image and reputation play a key role, especially in the premium space. But anyway, hear me out on these few points. 1. Reputation. Ask anyone in public to name an electric vehicle manufacturer and chances are they're going to say Tesla, or at least acknowledge their existence. Why? Because they have built a solid foundation and built trust with their customers over the course of the past decade, and those buyers have then conveyed their experience to their friends and family, and their friends and family, and so on and so forth. They have proved that they are capable of producing solid, mostly reliable, and in a somewhat efficient manner. So much so that they confidently warranty their batteries, or at least I believe they used to do that, for a maximum of 8 years with no mileage restrictions. They were one of, if not the first manufacturer to shy away from the traditional in-person car buying experience in favor of a more at-home, pressure-free one. All these factors come into play and seem to win the trust of most EV buyers, proven so even further by the continuous rise in the number of vehicles they deliver each and every year. 2. Their lineup consists of vehicles that cater to each individual segment. Tesla made their debut in 2008 with the Tesla Roadster, a vehicle based heavily on the Lotus Elise, or at least had the underpinnings of said vehicle. At the time, the Roadster was more than a prototype. It was available to purchase, but for Tesla, it was more of an already existing platform they could use to both test and improve their battery technology in lieu of their upcoming EV, the Model S. Fast forward to late 2021 and Tesla currently offers 4 models: the 3, the S, the Y, and the X, with more currently in the works like the Semi, Roadster, and the upcoming pickup truck. These vehicles all pertain to the most popular segments in the automotive world, allowing Tesla to essentially engrave their name into the heads of everyone, associating only their name whenever they think of an electric vehicle. 3. Supercharging. One of the drawbacks people associate with owning an electric vehicle is having to strategically plan your route. This isn't necessarily an issue for short commutes, but presents itself as a problem on longer journeys. However, Tesla has single-handedly eliminated the phenomenon known as range anxiety with their vast array of charging stations, which they refer to as their supercharging network, are scattered across North America and Europe. While they aren't as common as gas stations just yet, they aren't really available in remote areas either. However, they are quite widespread though in suburbs and towns, so this allows Tesla owners to embark on long journeys without the worry of depleting their batteries along the way. And finally, 4. Autopilot. A setting previously reserved for commercial airliners, the autopilot can now be had on Teslas. Well, not quite. Autopilot is the name given to the suite of driver assistance features, a little misleading considering you still have to be fully attentive while using it. But a cool feature nonetheless, and often referred to as one of the best in the biz. The standard configuration allows the vehicle to act like a standard adaptive cruise control system. However, for the low price of $10,000, Tesla will add full self-driving hardware, which is only available in a beta version as of yet, but promises in the future that it will be as simple as inputting a destination on the display and allowing the vehicle to take you there. While this may be unsettling for some and not a very attractive feature, there is no doubt that it's attracted certain buyers solely for that function. So, those are a few reasons I think Tesla has an advantage over Lucid. Obviously, there are many more qualified individuals out there, so those individuals, please leave your comments in the section box below to add some additional points. Also, note that I am in no way biased towards a specific manufacturer. Obviously, Lucid has filled in some of the shortcomings of the Tesla Model S and vice versa. Still though, there are plenty of EVs that are currently in the works from different companies, which is not only exciting, but creates competition and pushes them to strive even harder to create a vehicle that outperforms the previous one at a lower price point, which then in return benefits the end user. And who knows, Lucid may very well be on their way to the top. But as a first attempt, the Lucid Air is an exciting proposition. Well guys, that wraps up my comparison of the Lucid and the Tesla Model S. If you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.